All right, what do I need to get this building going? Besides the doors and the windows finished. I need water collection, water storage, electricity, and floors. Is that it? That's it. Oh, I'm getting close. I think that's it. Oh, and the plumbing inside. Right. I have kind of an interesting idea to do for the plumbing inside. I think it's interesting. All right, first, the water storage. Deshana does not want a water tank in her house. So, I'm not sure, but it might end up going just like right out here in the front. I might make a concrete water tank right between the doors, and then have like a balcony above that and stairs going up, and the water tank will be right under there. But then from the water tank, there will be a tube that goes inside, and then the tube will go up to the upper floors. And to get water on the second or third floor, you have to hand pump a pump thing. You know, just like at an old farmhouse, when you want water, you just, except you don't have to go outside to do it. It's, you know, it's right there at the sink. And I like that for a lot of reasons. You know, no one's going to waste all the water by leaving it on, because you can't leave it on. You know, you pump, and the water comes up and kind of fills up a little reservoir with an outspout. So you kind of pump and fill up the reservoir, and then it'll keep running out the spout for, I don't know, 30 seconds or a minute, depending on how much water you pump into it. And then, yeah, then it runs out. Another thing I like about that is it makes it so people are aware of the water they're using. You know, in houses where you just turn the knob on and it's like magic, poof, look, water. You know, people don't really think about the fact that the water is coming from somewhere, and you know, it's using it up and stuff like that. And you know, obviously, also it means I don't need an electric pump, so it takes out a bunch of stuff that might break. I should be able to make one of those hand pumps that's very durable and should last a really long time. I think that'll be really cool to do it that way. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing those. Ooh, I can use my mini lathe to make a bunch of the parts inside the pump. Oh, that's so great. Other thing on the list. I need to write all this stuff down and make myself a checklist, whatever. I need to make sure there are no leftover leaks in the concrete. Because, you know, it's made out of a lot of pieces, and some of the pieces didn't fit together perfectly as the concrete was going together, and it left little tiny leaks, like right here beside the window. You can kind of see where it's kind of rocky, like the cement didn't totally soak in. A bit of water gets through there to the inside. I should be able to stand on top of this and smear over that to fill that. And then there's ones up here. There's a little leak up here and a one over there that might be filled in by now. I'm not sure. But yeah, obviously I need to make sure it doesn't rain inside at all. Because, I mean, that's the worst. If you have like a little drip inside and every time it rains, it gets your stuff wet. All right, if I'm going to prioritize this leak situation, I think that's what I want to seal up fast and just get that totally taken care of. I'm thinking I should take buckets of soupy cement, go up to the roof and dump them over the roof, like I've done a few times before. And that'll do two things. One, it'll fill in any spaces, any leaks, at least to a certain degree. Like it'll at least make the holes smaller. And the other thing is, when I dump the bucket down there, I'll be able to see where water's coming inside. And I'm gonna go get my pencil and I'm gonna mark everywhere that there's any moisture getting through at all. And then hopefully I can, I don't know, systematically just work from the top down, just making sure there's no leaks anywhere left. Oh, the other option is to do what I did here and just cover the entire building with, you know, a layer of smoothing out mortar, which would be nice to do too. Oh, maybe I should just do that, because that will take care of any leaks and, you know, fill in all these holes and everything. I filled those in from the inside, but, you know, still showing on the outside. I don't have a ladder yet, but maybe I just start going, do everything I can reach, and then I think I'm gonna do that. Cover the whole building with a layer of mortar. Oh, that's gonna be a big job. This part here I just did bare hand, you know, smearing it on. But my hands are not gonna make it through the whole building worth. I'm gonna run out of skin. So what do I use? If I use a trowel, it's gonna use a lot more material. Because, you know, with a hand or something soft that'll conform to the shape, it can just smear along the surface. But a trowel or anything flat like that, I'm gonna have to, well, maybe that would be all right. Well, I tried trowels, spatulas, the wrapper, like the plastic packaging off something, a piece of fiberglass, a chunk of wood. I tried so many different things. And then I ended up just using my bare hands for most of it. So much easier and more efficient. It's easier to get, like, smush the stuff into any little crevices and smooth it out. Oh, bare hands is so much easier. Alright, yesterday after I did this smoothing out operation, I decided to go up on the roof and do that thing I did before. I didn't get it on camera yesterday, but I've gotten it before, where I throw sand up on the roof and then throw dump watery cement on it, and then all the sand and cement runs down. And you know, I dump like half a bucket at a time, then run down and look where leaks were coming in. And there were significantly fewer leaks than last time I did it. And like the leaks that were just kind of running right in, they're almost totally plugged up now. Now it's just like this little tiny stream. So that worked so well. I think I just need to do that a few times. Although there was one piece of silliness, two pieces of silliness. So I dumped the water up on the roof, right? And then the water runs down the building and looks for any cracks to get in. Not that it's looking for them. But there were these two spots by the windows. I was like, wow, that is really leaking a lot. What is going on? Turns out, like right over here beside this window, and one on the other window on the far side over there, I totally missed one of these holes. You know, one of these holes here? The holes from when I made the building. It was just hidden behind a piece of wood and kind of low. I just didn't notice them. So the water hits the window cover, runs down right into that hole. So it's just funneling it right into that hole. And that's where like probably 99% of the water inside the building was coming from. So now that I got those two holes plugged, should be significantly less water in here. Not that there's been a ton of water in here, but you know, the floor has been wet every time it rains. So now I just need to wait for this to dry out, and it should be a lot better. Of course, it was really good that the floor stayed wet for the first few weeks after I made it. But now, yes, this can recede and dry up, and that'll be nice. Oh, and it's good the concrete was wet, because the concrete needs, or the cement needs, moisture to cure. It needs to be wet. It's too hot and sunny right now to dump stuff on the roof because it'll dry too fast. So I can do this window right now. Take my sticks out of there. That's the last window cover I have. Then I need to go around all the windows and make sure, like here, get some mortar in that, and just check all of them. Make sure, you know, water's not going to get in around the windows anywhere. Alright, that's what I'm doing. Let's get the last eyebrow on first. Eyelid, whatever you call it. Alright, I got that window cover in. And I got all the seams around these windows up here. And I made sure these windows don't have any spots where, you know, water can run around and then in. And I reached around and got any possible suspicious looking spots. And then with my leftovers at the end, I did the inside of this. My camera. It's not that dark in there. Anyway, I made this part in here pretty. I got a little bit too bare handy there. Got one of those concrete finger machine things. I got a couple on this hand too. Alright, I'll have to lay off the concrete for a few days. I was just thinking that should take care of like almost all the leaks. The next time it rains, I'll come and just scan the whole wall and check. And then I realized I left the roof cap off like yesterday. I better go put that back on.
Yeah, it's like totally what I want the like walls and stuff and windows to look like too. Jaimie, that looks really awesome. Totally what I wanted the walls to look like.
Tell me what you said before that. About now I can imagine.
Oh, now I can imagine what like the rest of my house is gonna look like. And it's exactly what I envisioned it looking like too.
Sweet. I'll chop these off. And do the same thing down here that I did to the bottom of the door down there. That's actually really easy to do.